What is up, guys? Welcome back to Scene Invaders Podcast, episode 405. And I know we said he was not with us any longer last week. And I didn't mean it like that, even though it was our Halloween episode. But Brad from Canada, is back with us. What is up, sir?
How's it going, A? Still alive.
Okay.
Just unfortunately had some things that I had to take care of, but I listened and watched the pod, and you guys did so well. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I didn't even realize how bad that sounded until it came out, and then Dave's facial expression was just like, "Okay, Brad."
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. He looked pretty somber. He said, "Well, Brad's not with us," and I was like, listening at work. I'm like, "Well, no, I'm just not there." Yeah.
Okay, right. We tried to clarify, guys. We tried to clarify, but
I thought, okay, if I'm kicked off the show, that's fine.
No.
But like, send a tweet or an email or a carrier pigeon, something.
I can't lie though. I've tried to create, like, I've thought in my mind many times about creating like fake beef between us because of long legs, but I can't do it, man. I can't do it. And guys, I'm Chad. It's intermittent. We know anyway. Welcome back,
Chad.
guys. Yeah. Chad's here, and there'll probably be one day Chad's not with us as well, so y'all can pull that fucking shit on me.
Well, speaking of not with us, Dave is not on the show tonight because he had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go see his brand of wrestling, ECW, tonight. So he is there probably getting in some kind of fist fight or swinging a chair at somebody. Dave's a big man. I don't know if I'd screw with him. But,
I would.
We'll see. Sure. We'll see if he sends us pictures with some black eyes and missing teeth. But I hope he has a good time tonight, Dave. You are missed
for sure, always. And Carly has been on a couple times recently, and
yes.
She was asked to come back tonight, but is not feeling well. But should be back next week for a show that we've been planning for a little while. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, we're gonna hit you with are what we watched for the week and whether or not we recommend these things. I have a million things this week. This is my heaviest week ever by far. So a couple of things I'm going to gloss over, but we are going to start with Mr. Brad from Canada and see what he was up to this week after he left us high and dry last week.
So high, so dry.
So high, so dry.
I can't wait to be low and wet. But, okay. Yeah. So... I went looking into Netflix because my daughter occasionally throws Netflix on and then walks away to do something better. And that Netflix screen pops up that has little intermittent stills of commercials and things coming up. And one came out that caught my eye, and it's for an upcoming anime called Devil May Cry. I don't know if you're familiar with the video game.
I know the video game for sure.
I loved the video game.
It's hard, man.
Ex-wife loved the video game. We would sit there and play it like that and God of War. But
okay,
I saw the stills. So okay, cool. It's coming. It's checking it. So I went and took a look. Yeah, it's coming next year. So I was a little bummed out. But in my search, it's for Devil May Cry anime. One came up from the mid-90s.
Okay.
So I gave that one a spin. And it's a lot of fun. It's a 12 episode. You have Dante being Dante. You have, as in with all anime, a little annoying child that kind of sticks with him on adventures. Dante is a half demon, half human demon hunter in this fictitious world in which where demons are CEOs and other various things that, hey, it's fun to watch.
Sure.
It's fast, it's frenetic. You got black, you got red, you got sword, you got guns. It's just fun to watch. I breezed through all 12 episodes without even really thinking. It is a shut off your brain. If you like the video game, you're gonna like this series.
What's the episode length?
About 22 minutes each.
Oh, okay. That's easy.
Very digestible. And I don't know if you know anything about anime, at least action anime. If you go to use the restroom or something like that, leave it playing, you didn't miss much.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big sorry. I'm not a big anime guy, but a few years ago, I was introduced to an anime series called Sword Art Online,
Online. Yes.
and anime's never really been my thing, but that's the most engrossed that I had ever felt in like an anime series because it it was crazy as hell, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
dang,
Well, there's no rules with anime, which I've noticed, which I think really kind of would be indicative with a lot of horror animes
okay,
because they kind of skirt the morality issue because it's animated.
sure,
So there's some really horrible things that would not fly in North American animation. A lot of sexual.
sure, of course, it's very adult in
Well,
nature
I don't want to
usually.
say the word rape, but there was a lot of rape and just making you feel very uncomfortable no matter it. The Devil May Cry doesn't like go into that stage, but yeah, it very well could. So I will look forward to the next one, but this one was definitely a buy.
Okay,
Definitely a buy. And I will
I love it.
probably just one of those ones I put on the background when I'm not watching anything else.
Okay, I have plenty of things like that for sure.
Yeah, so many. Another one I watched was a movie called Shadow Strays. Now, I don't, maybe because I searched Devil May Cry, maybe because I'm a big ninja fan or whatever, but Shadow Strays is an Indonesian action flick about a secret society of assassins, primarily female assassins, that just take up the task of, well, murdering Yakuza, murdering CEOs, murdering, I don't say murder, but assassinating
Sure.
various people of power. And it was like, I'm a big action fan, from ninjas to spies to hitmen. I drink up the fantastical choreography,
I like it
the
too.
Mission Impossible, the
John Wick.
John Wick, of course. And I love seeing action from non-North American producers, choreographers, because you come up with things like The Raid or Old Boy
Or Kill,
or
even.
Kill. Kill was one of the
Yeah.
ones that actually totally inspired, like Indonesian action. Let's check it out because I was so enthralled by the way Kill did it and the way they had the family dynamic with the bad guys, and you're not
Mhm.
giving sympathy, but setting that dude's head on fire, and just weird things that you don't really get in North American movies. And I often wonder if it's because the actors, although paid very well, will say, "No, I don't. That's not happening to my character. That'll make my character look weak." I'm looking at you, The Rock, and Jason Statham, who,
Okay.
you
We're
know,
look. This is a Rock and Jason Statham judgment podcast now.
it really is because Uh, I don't care who you are. You're getting paid a lot of money to do a lot of things. And it looks like my camera just died for whatever reason. All right, let me try this again here. Sorry.
We have technical difficulties. I'll try to think of a song.
There we
Okay,
go.
no, he's back. That was good. Yeah,
I'm
hell yeah,
back.
dude.
Yeah. That happened last time too. Stupid camera. Dollar store stuff. But yeah. Just they did some action scenes in this movie that I've never ever seen before.
Okay.
I've seen enough, I keep saying it, North American action films that you can almost feel a beat. It's the third minute in now. A sword slash is going to happen. This is
Sure.
going to happen, but it's different pacing, and they're not worried about what the actors say about my character looking strong or not. If you're dead, you're dead,
Yeah.
and you die in a humiliating, sad way. So that was like a wonderful surprise, and it's kind of
Is this
breaking my
an?
rules about
Is it Netflix?
yeah,
Okay, I thought so.
yeah, Netflix. It's breaking my rules as far as me sitting down watching a movie, especially an action movie at 2 hours and 20 some odd minutes.
Mhm.
But I never got bored. It has, like I've seen every action movie, so it has aspects of Leon the Professional, it has aspects of Mission Impossible, of Ninja Assassin, of Old Boy, of all that, even Jackie Chan movies,
Oh wow.
but kind of viewed through a different prism. And one thing that I really liked, which was kind of new, is all the assassins were primarily female,
Okay.
which I don't know, it just added something to it. Just
I
another
feel
little
that for
wrinkle
real.
that I really, really enjoyed because I've seen John Wick do his thing. I love John Wick,
I think
but
if you're an assassin, you're a fucking assassin, regardless of gender.
well,
And if you're here to whip bitch's ass, then I'm gonna
well,
watch it. And I
these young
especially love it
ladies,
when a female does it.
these young ladies did that in spades. It was really fun to
Okay.
watch. So yeah,
And
definitely. That's another buy for me.
I'm gonna
The
assume this
the
is very
Shadow Strays.
stylish action, right?
It is. It's stylized, but it's also gritty.
Okay.
Like there is some extremely almost dance-like swordplay,
Okay.
but then there is also like ground and pound, down and fighting. Not everything goes well.
Sure.
Improvisation, fighting. So yeah,
I
definite.
mean, this like sort of begs something we brought up on the show before, and there being like sort of like a stunt category at the Oscars and stuff. Is this something you feel like would qualify this to be in the stunt
I
category if
I
there were
really
such an Oscar?
Yeah, no, I do think it would, as far as like I think even stunt or like fight choreography should get something.
I
Action
agree.
sequence should get something. And this, well, it kept my focus because I
Sure.
tried to watch another one. Oh shoot. Canary Black
Mm, I'm not familiar.
from Amazon Prime, and it's a female CIA assassin and everything, North American, and I was extremely bored.
Okay.
It just, I don't know. Look, two paint by numbers. I'm not disparaging anything, but
Sure.
just okay. I'm 15 minutes in. I'm done.
Okay. I
This
get you.
I was 5 minutes in, and I was in.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, even before we started this tonight, I was like, "Oh, I'm excited for that. I can't wait to hear about it." And it's something I want to watch, so I'm sure I
Yeah,
will.
I think you'd like it. It has a lot of really good takes, a lot of fun.
I love insane action spectacle
Hell yeah.
in every way. So
Well, you
I'm here
gotta
for it.
love that stuff because that stuff doesn't happen normally. Like a fight normally lasts about a quarter of a second. You get punched
Okay,
or
right.
like somebody chokes you and you roll on the ground. That's about it. Like so, yeah. You want to see guys doing like spin kicks and fun stuff. Yeah,
Guys on their like last breath of life who like suddenly find the energy to just fuck everyone in the room up. And
always fun.
I love that shit, man. I
Yep,
love it. Always,
Mr. Chuck
always.
Norris, Mr. Chuck Norris.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, beyond that, beyond watching something, I would love to say I read a book, but I listened to a book. Uh, does anybody really sit down and read anymore? I would like to try and get back into it. I always feel like I should be doing something. So if I
I
can
try
listen
to.
to a book and do laundry and clean the house and change the oil in the car or whatever like that, yeah, I'll do that.
Are you
So
changing the oil in the car, Brad Addy?
if I need to, yeah,
Oh my God.
every so many kilometers, yeah.
It's one skill I've never learned, but yeah, I like it, man.
You could just take the plug out, change the filter. It's all good.
And I'm like, I don't know.
You can watch on YouTube; they'll show you how.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna message you and be like, Brad Daddy, walk me through this shit. I'm trying to change my oil.
Okay, well, you get in your car, you drive to Jiffy Lube, and you give them some money, and that'll take care of that. Yeah. So while doing all that, I listened to an audiobook about one of my favorite actors. I can't really think. I'm sure he's been in bad movies. I know he's been in bad movies, but he's never done a bad performance. And so I listened to Sonny Boy, Al Pacino's autobiography. And I want to preface this by like being a little weird here and saying that I absolutely despise celebrity. I actors, sports figures, social media influencers, whatever, however they gain celebrity status, that their followers put them up to almost a royalty status, it always aggravates me because they have influence, which turns into power. And not for nothing, they're not really the people that should have power. So
I agree with that.
I notice I kind of came to this conclusion when Hawk to a Girl has the most listened to podcast and #1 YouTube channel and has made millions of dollars off of how she gives a blowjob. Good on her. Okay. I'm not saying it's a lost art or anything like that, but I mean, it was right place, right time. I don't begrudge her. I begrudge the people that have exalted her to this status for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I thought it was a funny line too, but all right, you dizzy bitch, piss off.
I definitely get where you're coming from with that for sure. And I mean, in the case of her, I forget her real name, but we're gonna call her Hawk to a Girl.
Hawk to a Girl, yeah. Let's just
The one thing that like kind of surprised me about where she emerged after all of that was like kind of the good in a way that she was doing.
Yeah, she has
And
some
that
benevolence.
made it okay.
Yeah. And I mean, good on you. And that is 1 out of a million, probably. I
But
mean,
honestly, yeah, like on the side of Twitter that I run on, uh, talk about being worn out as fast as you could possibly be worn out on a thing of the moment. Oh God, I was exhausted.
Flavor of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was something that came around like after a little while and after this had like already transpired and stuff where I kind of was like, well, this could be way worse and she could be so much worse. And I
She really
honestly
could
sort
have.
of like respect this. And I don't think it was something that she was asking for. And that's why I sort of like draw the line there. She wasn't asking for this, but she fell into it and just tried to go with it the best that she could.
And she embraced it.
Yeah, and not saying she's the end all be all or any of that kind of shit, but
No, I can't
definitely
say
get where you're coming
anything.
from.
I can't say anything good about her, about her because I don't know anything about her because
Yeah,
she is not a figure that I have anything to do with beyond her saying "Hawk to it." You got to spit on that thing.
right.
Because the only reason I know that line is because you couldn't escape it, and so, like I said,
I'm here for the record to say not everyone wants you to spit on that thing. Just saying.
no.
We've already devolved into like the worst possible version of the podcast tonight, Mr. Brad.
I've been spat on in every type of way, and it's never really that hot. So let's
Agreed.
go that way.
Agreed.
But yeah, so
but for the spit enjoyers,
God bless. I'm not going to kink
support
shame you. Go nuts. Go nuts. I'm not going to yuck your yum. Go crazy. But yeah, so just I've never really cared about trying to learn about celebrities. I don't care where they went to high school. I don't care where they enjoy eating sushi. And that's not me being like too cool for school. I only have so much energy every day, and I can't really focus it upon an actor, a sports figure, or anything, their religious beliefs or their political leanings or anything, even though they just try and throw it in your face just because they want to remain relevant. Now, I say all that by saying I always loved Al Pacino's work. I love the work of celebrity. I don't love celebrity. Sure. I mean, this is part of the podcast. I really enjoyed Shadow Strays for another reason, and it's because I don't know any of the actors.
Sure.
And so I can completely lose myself in their character. I love Mission Impossible. I love Ethan Hunt, but that's Tom Cruise because I know Tom Cruise. Now, I know Al Pacino, but I didn't know anything about Al Pacino. And I
Sure.
didn't seek out trying to find out about Al Pacino. I heard about this book about that it tells him on how he gets into characters, the movies he's chosen, the movies he's turned down, just various things, interesting things about his work. And that's really what got me interested. Him growing up, the fact that he went to work on the stage and had absolutely zero interest in movies or television or fame. He feared it when he got it. He's been so recluse. And I mean, if you look at some of the movies, his first most notable one is The Godfather, which earned him an Oscar nod. Then he did Serpico, which earned him an Oscar nod. Then he did Dog Day Afternoon, Oscar nod. Justice for All, Oscar nod. I mean, and this is a gentleman who's a stage actor.
Mhm.
He loved theater. Theater was his thing. It's still his thing. It's still his passion.
Sure.
So in between the movies, that's what he did. And it's actually really fascinating that here's something that you and I were talking about earlier. He's lost his fortune twice.
Yeah. I really had no idea, man.
He took 4 years off making movies and just he didn't go blow all his money, but he just spent it
Sure.
living in Los Angeles. And he was dating Diane Keaton at the time. And this is, I don't know why this entertains me.
I love her.
Him and Diane Keaton went to his lawyer and they said, like, listen, doesn't have any money. Like, what's going on? And the lawyer says, well, I mean, you spent your money. What do you want? And Diane Keaton looked at the lawyer and says, do you know who this man is? And Al Pacino, who narrates the book,
Oh, okay.
and narrates it not very well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it's very charming the way he does it. He said, Diane stood up and says, you know who this man is? And he says, and I instantly got embarrassed because I'm just like, I'm an actor. I don't do that, please. I've been told I'm a person. I've been told that I'm Al Pacino. And she looked at me and says, this man is a fucking idiot. He's just an actor. You have to take care of him. And he says, and that just dropped me right back to reality. So that's when he started doing movies like Dick Tracy, to get some money, Jack and Jill, to earn some money. And he learned how to make his money back. But then he lost it again because the next accountant he hired was crooked. So it's fascinating how he didn't really care about losing the money. It was not a big thing for him. He says, well, my kids are okay. I'm still getting residuals from Scarface.
Sure.
I don't have to live big. I'll
Yeah, I
just
mean,
move
if this
back to
is
New
your love,
York. I'll just
it's
he said, I can work on the stage. I don't need anything. As long as my kids are okay, that's all he really worried about.
this is what
But,
passion is about, man, I think.
and I always respected his work, but maybe it's an old Hollywood thing, because he's 90,
Sure.
he's 90
Yeah.
years old. And maybe I just have a more of affinity for older actors who don't really seek out the limelight.
Sure.
Like guys like my favorite actors are like Clint Eastwood is one of my favorites. Dennis Quaid, Harrison Ford, all these guys that put out good work, but you don't hear anything about them unless it's somebody trying to dig something up, and then you can't really dig any much about him.
Sure.
But yeah, Al Pacino, Sonny Boy, where he came from, where he's at, and where he's going is a fascinating listen.
Okay.
And if I'm going to buy this book and I'm going to read it because, like I said, yeah, Al Pacino might be the greatest actor in the world. He's not the best narrator.
Sure.
But that's kind of what gives it its charm. The fact
No,
that
I'm into it.
he doesn't do it well, and he's doing this because he wants to, not because he has to.
Yeah,
because
and I think there are plenty of
spoiler
people out
alert,
there
he's
who are
he's in
fascinated.
a good financial situation now that
Of course.
he's not hurting, but he's not spending for what he was. But it was just a very I bought it.
Oh, okay.
It's a definite buy. I will buy it again.
Okay, he bought it.
Yeah.
Brad from
So
Canada bought it.
I bought it. I bought a lot. I bought a lot this week.
I'm trying to buy the Substance, but it's not available to be bought yet, even though I can watch it other ways.
I watched it a couple times.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yes. So yourself, sir, what have you said you had a big week.
Oh my god, I have watched so many things this week,
Well,
guys.
good, because I watched two things and listened to something. So come on, fill it out here. What do we got?
Yeah, and I'm gonna breeze through a couple of these, and then a couple more I have a little bit more to say on, and I'm gonna try to go, I think, as much in order as I actually watch things. And I'm gonna start with a movie called Daddy's Head, which sounds not okay, guys.
Pretty hot.
It sounds wrong,
Oh,
but
Mr. Dave just texted us a picture of Rob Van Dam.
okay,
Congratulating somebody. So Dave still has all his teeth, both eyes,
okay,
and all his
good.
fingers enough to take a picture. So ECW,
So
ECW.
Dave will be back,
Dave
guys.
will be
Just like
back.
Brad was back.
He is still with us.
But yeah, Daddy's Head. I kept seeing it show up on like the scariest horror films
Those
of
little
the
windows in
year
the side.
lists, and I'm a sucker for that. Like I want to be scared. That's one thing as a horror lover that I chase all the time is like scare me. I want to be scared. And Daddy's Head, which is directed by Benjamin Barfoot. Oh God. I hope I said that
Benjamin
right,
Barfoot.
guys. Yeah, yeah. I hope I
That's
said
cool
that right,
name.
guys. Um this was an interesting watch for me for sure. Nowadays anymore, it seems like a ton of horror is dealing with this sort of like loss. How do we move on? Like this trying to grapple and deal with like death via horror movie. And
Kind
this
of
is definitely
like an issue that they're dealing with, not something that's been thrust upon them.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. And this is another one of those type of movies. Handling the Undead is one for sure from recent. Hereditary is definitely another one. And I went into this with, I mean, moderate hopes because I honestly hadn't heard of it until I saw it show up on a couple of lists. And this movie is, it's okay, guys. I didn't think it was amazing. I think it handles and grapples with sort of this like loss thing fairly well. It's about a boy and his stepmother, and the boy has lost his father. And this is not spoilers, guys. Um, the boy starts to think that he's seeing his father as like sort of a beast at night, like breaking into their home essentially,
Sure.
and trying to lure him into this like thing in the woods that looks like almost like a shrine or an altar sort of that has been built. And you're kind of meant to go along with this story thinking, is this boy crazy? Is
Okay.
this actually happening? Is this boy just like trying to process grief? All that kind of stuff. And I
So
think this film has a couple of very genuinely pretty frightening moments. But overall for me, uh it
is there a
just
supernatural aspect to it, or
I mean, definitely kind of because
okay?
you're dealing with a sort of like I mean, not like a long legs style, but you're grappling sort of with this like, is it real? Is it not type of thing. And I I did like this movie, but I did not love it. This
Okay.
is definitely like a borrow for sure. I couldn't
Well,
imagine really wanting to watch this again. And this is kind of my wheelhouse of horror. Like you can tell that the filmmakers have a vision and you can see what could be in the future. But for me, it was okay, guys. Like not amazing, not
okay.
awful. And like I said, a few genuinely frightening moments, and we'll kind of leave it at that. And I'm trying to go, I think, in the order of like what I watched things this year. My browser tab is a mess. So if that doesn't happen, if you're following me on Twitter, then sorry, guys.
Keep following.
Yeah, no, exactly. Hopefully, follow me, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Follow he puts up a lot of good stuff.
So the next one for me was something that I went to last Friday night. When I got off work, which was fairly early that Friday, I looked through the AMC app and I was like, what do I want to go see tonight? And to be honest, I had seen a lot of what was already there, and then something that I was like, so I came across this movie called Director's Cut,
Right.
which in the AMC app didn't even bother to have a poster attached to it. Usually in the AMC app, you see at least a poster. You know what genre it is. You know the
Yeah,
runtime.
you showed us the picture.
Yeah, and I sent
It
this
was
to the group chat. And I
very
was like, guys, I'm going in like
very minimal.
yeah, this is blind as you could possibly go in tonight. But I saw horror and I was like, you know what? This is how I'm going to spend my Friday night. So I went to see Director's Cut, directed by, oh, do we know? Hold on. Don Capria, and starring people that honestly don't matter. Louis Lombardi, Lucy Hart. I don't mean to like disparage y'all. Uh, but thank God, thank God I was in this theater by myself because I had a ball, a
Oh
party
yeah.
watching this movie. Is it good? No, it is not good. However, is it fun and kind of like the right kind of fun? Yes, definitely. It's about like a band who comes across a guy on Instagram who wants to shoot a music video for them for free in a large home out in the middle of nowhere, which of course is not red flags at all.
So this director is what trying to do like what are those things when you kill people in snuff film?
Yeah, honestly, this is kind of where, and this is not spoilers, guys. Like, I mean, honestly, I
Okay.
don't think you can spoil it, this movie.
Well, just when you
But
said,
basically, yes.
when you invite a people to like a dark house, yeah, guess what? He's gonna kill them.
There's some like backstory to all this that I'm not
Yeah.
going to spoil here for anyone who may want to watch it. And it kind of pains me in a way to recommend this movie because it really is not good, guys. It's not good, but it's fun and it's so funny. And I've got videos. I posted one on Twitter, like my out of theater reaction. And I've got plenty of me like just reacting to things as they happened as I filmed the screen in the theater. And again, I was in there by myself, so I was not like disrupting people or any shit like that. But I had just a ball watching this movie. It's just it goes right into so bad it's good that I think it's kind of worth your time if you like horror shit.
Okay.
Because of course, once they get to this like house in the middle of nowhere, horror movie shit ensues and you start to find out motivations and
The door is locked.
reasons for why these people have been brought out here and all this kind of shit. And
I don't have any cell service, do you?
yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big part of it. That's a huge part of it, of course. But it's honestly, it's kind of fun, guys. And I think, like I said in my video before, if I were rating this out of 5 stars, it'd be like a 1.5 out of 5. But like the fun level that I had out of it would be like a 70 out of 10. So I had a great time watching it. But it's not good, guys. Oh, okay. And then the next thing was okay. So I have to preface this with my story, guys. So
okay, story time with Chad.
I sat here on a Sunday and I was like, you know what? The only thing I want to do today is lay on this sofa and catch up on things and kind of like drama things that I have not gotten to yet this year in theater for whatever reason. And I ended up, watching 4 movies that day, guys.
Whoa.
And the first up was Sing Sing from A24. And
coaches touted this movie very, very highly.
Yes, and I am about to as well. If you know what this is about, which is men in prison who have created like a performing arts or like a stage play type of group that helps people through the art of acting and putting on a show. And it's everything that you expect when you hear that description. But this film is so incredibly lovely. It's just as expected as it is, and especially for A24, like they definitely are leaning a little bit more recently into things that are more appealing for the mainstream, I would say. And this film definitely falls into that category, but the acting, the honestly, I think even like the script, the everything about this is just so beautiful and lovely and emotional that it's hard not to get wrapped up in it. And
Really?
I absolutely got wrapped up in it. This was, of the things that I watched that day, the thing that I gave the highest amount of stars to, which for me was a 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
It's just, it's really, 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 really good. It's so worth your time. And Coleman Domingo as the lead performance in this, he is
Good in
exceptional.
everything, though. Like,
Oh, he is so good. But what's really good here is Clarence Macklin in supporting.
okay.
And from what I understand, I haven't looked into this a ton, guys, but I think he is actually like just sort of, this is his first role. And I think he comes from this world
Okay.
and you can feel it. You can tell. And there's something so magnetic, so energetic, so exciting about watching him perform in this that I would love nothing more than to watch him just scoop up all the awards this season for best supporting actor. It's just
Do you think
it's just an
that's
emotional great.
viable? Like,
Oh, I mean, I would like to think so. I've been like, what's funny is I've kind of gotten into watching recently these awards prediction channels like Brian Rowe and shit like that.
right.
And that's never been my thing exactly. I've never cared much about awards. I've cared more about what I actually like. But there is something fascinating about watching these people speculate on what could be like an Oscar contender or
Well, it's
an
funny
awards
because
contender.
I've got something to mention about that in our last segment. So yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, no, it's just now that I've seen the film, I've seen his name mentioned because of people like Brian Rowe. And yeah, I mean, I could feel it for sure. I mean, I think this year in general is very stacked for just film in general, horror, non-horror. I think this has been an exceptional year for
It
cinema.
really, really has. There's been some very powerful statements, performances, all encompassing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just
Bad
crazy.
movies with great performances, like standout, hidden gems.
Yeah.
It's been a weird year because with the writer's strike, it seems like everyone is trying to like catch up, and you've had
Well, I feel
some of the
like been
most.
since post-COVID as well, because COVID really put a damper on things for a long time, like
Oh,
for
it
theater going.
totally did, but uh, like I only bring up the writer's strike is because everything just got spread out. So finding these things like Sing Sing and such is it's been like, oh shit, that was actually good.
Yeah. No, it's very,
In
very
in
good.
in some in a year that has been you've been almost looking for the good. Now I've enjoyed quite a few things. I'm not gonna lie. But there's never really been like a standout thing that like, oh, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, I have a couple of those this year.
Sweet.
But yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
But yeah, for Sing Sing, like, I mean, is there a chance this makes it into my like top 10 of the year? Yeah, maybe, honestly. Like, it just left me with that kind of impact and that kind of feels afterward. But like I said, this year is stacked. So to go through my list and try to figure out exactly like what my top 10 or top five, which is what we'll do here on this
Oh, we
podcast.
will eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get there at the end of the year for sure. And Yeah, it's just beautiful and lovely, and I don't really see how anyone walks away from it thinking, that was whatever, because it's just that kind of powerful.
Really?
And then speaking of powerful, the movie that followed that up is called Ghost Light.
Mm.
And this is one I do want to tread a little bit carefully on, because spoilers aren't like traditionally what you would think of as spoilers, but there are things in this film and things that it grapples with and deals with that I think are best not knowing going in.
Okay.
But this is about a man who works a construction job and gets sort of like, not by his will, called in to work with this acting group that is putting on a stage play of Romeo and Juliet, of all things. And it's about the power of acting, the power of writing, the power of entertainment, I
Performance?
guess. Yeah, performance.
It's kind
That
of not unlike Sing Sing.
Yeah, no, it's a very yeah, similar in very, very many ways for sure. And Ghostlight, oh my god, I cried so many times during this movie, because it's so wonderful, it's so beautiful, it's so fucking lovely how you watch this man who is kind of like what you think of as like the every man. He's emotionless in his real life. He's emotionless at his job. He's emotionless with his family. But he goes into this like theater group of sorts to do Romeo and Juliet, and he starts to find his way dealing with emotions and grappling with some of his realities in life that just left me just a mess, guys.
Really?
it's it's just so oh,
Well,
this
I'm
was
looking.
not at all what I expected going in. I
I'm
thought
looking
this
at the
was
cast, and sorry to interrupt.
no, you're good.
This looks like something I could really enjoy because I don't know any of these people.
Well, and I think from what I had seen, which was just posters, to be honest, of this, I thought this looked like an incredibly stuffy drama.
Yes.
And it's not that at all. It is a drama.
Well, it
It's
is
not stuffy. It's not,
the description is when a construction worker joins a local theater production of Romeo and Juliet, the drama on stage starts to mirror his own life.
yes. And it is just, I mean, I can't recommend this enough, guys. I give it a slightly lower score, I would say, than Sing Sing, which was a 4 out of 5. That was just for a couple of quibbles, but
White people.
this, okay, right, exactly. But we don't have time for you, white.
No, no, we've had enough of y'all.
Yeah. But this is the film of everything I watched this week that I'm leaving with kind of the most impact from, and that moved me the most, I would say. But Sing
Nice.
Sing was very like close there with it. But I think the filmmaking there was just a touch above Ghostlight. But Ghostlight, my God, if you want
It's a
a
curious name,
weepy,
Ghostlight.
yeah, yeah. And I kind of don't quite totally get it. At the same time, I do sort of get
You
where
understand it?
they came with that name a
All
little
right.
bit.
All right.
But yeah, I'd be curious to like talk to the filmmaker and say, where did that title come from? Because again, like I said, I'm kind of there, but like I'm not totally 100% there. And yeah,
Well,
I can't recommend it enough. If you like a weepy like Sunday afternoon drama, oh, you can't do a whole lot better, at least
well,
in this year, than this movie.
anybody looking for it, it's on Prime Video, so
Oh yes, okay, I like that. I
give her
don't
a day.
remember how I watched it because of Dave. Yeah, Plex. We love
Of
Plex
course you watched because of
on this
Dave.
podcast. Yeah. Um, Next, okay. This is one I've heard about a ton. Carly, who's been on the last couple of weeks, has recommended it a ton. And because of Snack Shack earlier this year, it's the same director. And this was Dinner in America.
Oh,
Um,
right.
yeah, directed by Adam Reemeyer and starring Kyle Gallner and Emily Skaggs. Or Skeggs?
I
Okay,
don't know.
Skeggs. Yeah. Yeah, it's Skeggs.
Sorry.
And this is kind of like a sort of button pushing punk romantic comedy, sort of.
Okay.
I kept getting vibes of Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist during this.
Right.
And I love that
Wow.
movie. I love it. I love
I
it.
haven't thought about that movie in a while.
And also Heathers in a way.
With Christian Slater?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It definitely has a little bit of vibes of that.
Really haven't
And
thought about that movie in a while.
I did overall end up enjoying this movie. I will say that the first half of it, I really struggled with this because the characters are or were so unlikable during that portion of it
Mm,
that I was like, man, I don't know if I'm ever going to get on board with this.
that could be tough.
And it was for sure. But it does kind of like a switch flip, sort of like halfway through. And you start to sort of understand these characters a little bit more and get a little bit more on board with them, to the extent that I did end up like liking this. This was a
Okay.
3 out of 5 for me, and this is a definite solid like borrow.
Hi, Borrow.
Unless and if you love it, then yeah, you're gonna love it. But ugh, I don't know. It's so off-putting at the beginning because I think it's trying so hard to be not exactly
More?
even well, I don't even want to say like
Be more than it
counterculture.
should be, or like
Well, it's
be?
trying it's
Does it
trying
know
to
what it's
push
trying to be?
it's trying to push buttons. And
Okay.
it's trying to like use language that we don't hear in film anymore or hardly ever. And I appreciate that usually, but this just felt sort of like kind of like look at me, look, I just used this word.
Mm.
And nobody uses that anymore. And
So
look at me.
buzzwords. I think
Yeah,
the
like
buzzwords are just
and things I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with any of these words or this slang or this language or any of that kind of stuff, but it just never felt natural to me. But where it ends is genuinely, I think, incredibly sweet. It's about a guy who is not a great person, who meets a girl who is not a bad person, but she's just a misunderstood person.
okay.
And it's sort of how these like personalities sort of feed off of each other in a way.
Okay.
And again, I'm not trying to spoil like major spoilers here and become sort of an unconventional love story that I think does ultimately work. It does work, but man, this one, it was a disappointment in a way, although it is
Mm,
still definitely a borrow, and like I said, a 3 out of 5 for me.
okay.
And yeah, interesting. And I think of people like fuck, who is it? I can't think of it, but there are directors that also that it reminded me of, but I'm not here with that in the moment. And watch it.
Quentin,
I mean, watch
Quentin
it.
Tarantino.
No, not quite that, but Greg Araki is who I was thinking of with like Nowhere and shit like that.
Right.
It brings up like feelings of that kind of, but there was just a little bit too much for too long of like this look at me and look how daring and bold I am aspect
Oh,
about it
okay.
that felt attention seeking and kind of diminished from the thing as a whole.
It's like
So yeah.
people that really want attention don't say, "Look at me."
Yeah, exactly. And this movie kind of started that way. And I think it, like I said, it ends up in a place that's much better than where it starts. But yeah, it's sort of like the look at me of look how daring and bold and look at the language I'm willing to use type of shit.
Mm,
And yeah, it was okay, guys.
cool.
All right. And then next, because of Dave, Mr. Dave, who's no longer with us, or at least not tonight, is not a horror guy. And he knows that I am. And he has seen talk of this movie recently. And I have as well, but have not seen it, but decided to add it to his Plex literally just for my viewing pleasure,
What a guy.
which was The Coffee Table. And my God, guys, what an experience. Directed by, and I'm gonna probably butcher the fuck out of this because this is foreign, but Kai K Cassis. Fuck, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Cassis.
Only he knows or she.
I think he was a Jedi.
Yeah, probably. This feels very directed by a man. Um, But yeah, this was a horror film that is truly,
The coffee table.
it's truly kind of horrific,
Oh,
honestly, and upsetting and dark and it's not pleasant to watch by any means.
well, it's in 2022.
Yeah, and I think for
It's
US though, it
labeled
might have
horror
been this year.
comedy.
Oh, and that is something I was going to touch on because I don't understand the comedy aspect of this.
Oh,
Maybe like the deepest, darkest, blackest, most awful comedy, but I didn't get comedy from this
well,
really at all.
whenever I look up a movie, it always says, in a nutshell, strange, harrowing, and disturbing.
Yes.
And the tag is Jesus and Maria are a couple who have just become parents, and they decide to buy a new coffee table. Well, when I became a parent, that was the first thing I bought
Okay.
was a coffee table. Um, yeah, we didn't. A decision that will change their existence. Now,
Exactly.
I bought a coffee table once,
Okay.
and it changed the flow of the room.
Fuck. I hate you so much. It's real though. That's real. I will say, like, this is where that film starts. It's them literally buying, and it's probably not what you would like normally think of as a coffee table, but probably more of like a cocktail table or like a behind the sofa table, like a slightly higher up, like
Okay.
that kind of thing. And I thought that was brilliant. I loved this interaction between the couple and this salesman who's trying to sell them this very special coffee table.
Is this coffee table imbued with Satan magic?
It never goes quite there, but I'm going to go with it's imbued with something because
Did this
some
coffee table
fucking bullshit.
have long legs?
Oh my god. This it gets so dark so incredibly quick that again, like I was struggling to find out like where people were finding this was sort of funny. Like, I mean, it deals with themes of like sort of like pedophilia, child death,
Okay.
marriage problems, all of that kind of shit. And there's just nothing light about the experience at all.
Okay.
Did I enjoy watching this? Uh, that's a tough word to use, enjoy.
Okay.
Do I recommend it for people who like uncomfortable horror? Yes, kind of.
Now, this isn't like a North American movie.
No, I think it's from Spain. Wait, hold on. Let me look. I think it's Spain,
Well,
maybe.
because we kind of got a theme here that, like, we have our meat and potatoes North American type movies, and then you have more exotic, different takes on things, different takes on
Yeah.
horror, different takes on action. Doesn't necessarily mean they're good, but they're different.
Yeah. And this is definitely different. I think the filmmaker here has a voice for sure. Um, and this is a voice that is in your face in this movie, definitely. Um, and I think my biggest quibble here is how much did I actually enjoy watching this?
No,
Which
that was my next
I
question, honestly. Like, you've said a lot of things about it. Like, was it something you're like, I'm glad I did that.
I mean, on in some ways, yes. In some
Okay.
ways, would I watch this again? It's pretty unlikely that I would because it is just so bleak and dark and relentlessly dark, I think.
Are there scenes that jump out that you would like want to revisit again just to
I
you
mean,
got to check this out?
there are things that I wanted to go back at the end and kind of watch again and be like, "Wait, is that exactly what happened there?" That kind of
Okay.
shit, but it just is it's uncomfortable and it's kind of unpleasant, but
Mm,
it's in design that it's unpleasant. This is not meant to be a well-liked, a well-received movie in any
okay.
way, and
It
it's a
wasn't.
rough one. Yeah, it's a rough one, guys, for sure. And I've watched some really, really dark shit, but yeah, this one, I don't know. It just left a mildly bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
And Yeah, it's not often you hear me say that. But again, this still was like a 3 out of 5 for me. It's just the kind of thing that, like, there are certain people I know that I would recommend this to, but
Okay.
for a general audience, this is not at all even remotely recommended for general audience.
So it's kind of a custom recommendation.
Definitely, definitely, definitely.
You know people that would enjoy it or get a kick out of it or just be enthralled by it, but
Yeah.
like as far as a sweeping, yes, you got to check it out, not so much.
Yeah, yeah, definitely not. And there were moments I was enthralled by this, and like overall, it left an impression on me for sure. But yeah, it's a rough recommend, guys. But again, if you like incredibly disturbing content, this is a good one for that. And
All right.
on that front, I definitely recommend it. All
If
right,
you
I
like
just have
depraved, disturbed shit, check it out.
a couple left, guys. Okay,
All
so
right, go for it. It's our show.
Vox Lux. I was on Twitter last night and I saw a homie say that before The Brutalist, which is a film coming out later this year, comes out, he wanted to stand his ground now and say that he thought that Brady Corbett's Vox Lux was his masterpiece
Excellent.
before he has seen The Brutalist. So I was like, oh, this is all I need to know that I'm going to go ahead and watch this right now because it's been on my radar for a long time and I just had not seen it. So I started up Vox Lux by Brady Corbett starring Natalie Portman. And
2018.
yeah, it's not all that old for sure. And what I will say is that after seeing this movie, it makes me incredibly excited for The Brutalist, which is about to be like a 4 hour with a proper intermission film coming to theaters, hopefully in my area this year. It is like Oscar bait shit.
Hmm.
But I could see things that he did in Vox Lux that make me so excited for The Brutalist. But Vox Lux left me kind of lukewarm in a way. There are moments of absolute brilliance in this movie. And I told Brad earlier, like, I'm shocked to say this, but Natalie Portman was one of the biggest things that held me back from loving this movie. Her performance, it just didn't make sense to me. I get sort of where they were coming from with it, but it kept me at like a long arm's distance
No,
while I watched this. And even like through like the very ending of it, I was like, oh God, like if they, yeah, man, it's the most conflicted I've been on a movie probably this month for sure. Uh, and it's about a girl who survives. And again, this is not spoilers, guys. A girl who survives like a school shooting event at her school.
it's in the description.
And due to that event, she becomes sort of a maybe at first reluctant pop star because her and her sister create a song that becomes this like anthem sort of for the nation. And it's about her growth as a true certified bona fide like pop performer. But it just, man, the performances were just so misguided here that I had a hard time getting on board with it. But the direction, the vision, the visuals they're wonderful.
Inspiring for the next flick that you're looking forward
Exactly. And yeah, and I mean the Brutalist, it's going to be about an architect, for God's sake. Like, I mean, does that sound exciting? No, to nobody. However, if done the right way and done
to. The
with like
title sounds pretty
yeah,
intriguing.
well, and like with what I saw here though, like I see where this could become the movie of the year potentially. And
Really?
that's why it has left me like kind of salivating for it and so excited. But Vox Lux, I think it is worth your time. It's worth a watch. There are probably people who are not going to have the issues with Natalie Portman's performance the way that I did. But it was rough, guys. Rough for me for sure. It just kept
She's
taking
normally pretty
me out of
solid.
it. No, I think she's amazing. Like, I mean, God, she was in May December last year, and like Black Swan and all that shit. Like, she is exceptional. But here, ugh, it was not exceptional to me. But I do definitely recommend the movie, and it's a borrow, 100% a borrow.
There you go.
But there will be people that this is a total buy for 100%, and I respect that. But I'm not on that page, guys.
Hey, it didn't do it for you. It didn't do it for you.
And then the last thing I watched this week, which these guys have been threatening me for fucking ever, that I'm gonna start watching series. Well, I mean, they haven't been like actively
Ooh.
threatening me, but they've been bringing it up so much that I'm like, I'm gonna start watching like TV series again, guys. And I did that this week, and The Bear has been at the top of my list of series that I want to watch. And I breezed through the first season of The Bear in one day the other day, and as expected, I loved it. I can't wait to move on to
Did you?
season 2. Yeah, I loved it. It's so good, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna ask these obvious questions. One, the back and forth between characters is extremely unique.
Yes.
Did you bump into it at all, or was it kind of like,
I mean,
okay, sure?
I think there is sort of an authenticity to the show.
Yes.
It kind of reinforced what I feel about the difference between like series and movies is for me at least.
Mhm.
But yes, there is this like authenticity in the way that people speak and the way they move around each other and the way like an ensemble kind of has to work together that's a little bit different, I think, than a lot of movies are.
Right. They
And
spend a lot more time together. You have
yeah,
in a series, so you really need to learn how to navigate one another. Now, it is one of my favorite series.
it's gonna probably be one of mine.
I enjoyed pretty much everything, even the aggravating parts were kind of charming. What did you think about the actual cooking itself and the not the meals or anything like that, but just the frenetic action? Even we've talked a lot about curious and innovative choreography tonight. Like I put that within the cooking that these things have to be choreographed. What did you think of that?
As a person who loves, I think I've said it even on here, like one of my like go-to comfort things is I love like cooking reality TV.
Uh-huh.
And this gave me like a touch of that in a way. But like, of course, there's no like you're out next or any of that kind of aspect
Right.
to it.
Right.
But like just watching like these plates being built and the kind of like I've worked in restaurants before plenty of times throughout my life. And I can kind of relate to this like frantic pace of things. This like I hate you right now, but we're gonna be cool in like 2 hours when
Yeah.
service is over type of shit.
I need to hate you to make this work.
Yeah, we're gonna butt heads for a minute, but we'll be cool again at the end of the night.
Right.
And that's exactly what the show gave me. I think it's beautifully done. Like the culinary aspects of it, I think are kind of eye candy in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Even though you're like, again, I'm only on season 1, guys, so I haven't moved beyond that. But even though you're just watching people plate things from like a Chicago like beef sandwich, like
Yeah.
sort of at like
Fun French fries and hot dogs and various
yeah,
things
exactly.
that just made it work.
But what makes that really work, other than the very good attention to detail and like the visuals and plating of that shit, is the characters. And
Yes.
you
Infectious.
come to very much care about these people very quickly. And even like the smallest parts here, I think, are given the kind of like love and
Gravity.
yeah, gravity that you need to like carry people through. And I get why people just absolutely love this. I cannot wait. I'm waiting for a day. Honestly, the reason I haven't started season 2 yet is because I'm waiting for a day when I can like season 2 all in one day.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm glad you watched season 1, and when a series are tough, honestly, series are tough. I will watch series that have already passed that I love, and I'll just let it run the whole day through. I'm glad you're letting season 1 digest, for lack of a better term,
Mhm.
before you go on to season 2.
Yeah. And I thought about that. I was like, should I just move immediately into this? And I was like, no. I
Let it
want
hit.
to Yeah, I want to take this in and I want to experience whatever is next because I think like the episodes that like you and Dave have kind of like brought to my attention, like Forks and shit,
Mhm.
clearly must be from season 2.
Yes,
So I
but
feel like, but
we were
wait, is another
we
one
were
that came up is
we
the
were talking about
Christmas
it,
episode.
yes. Yeah, that is also season 2.
Okay. And that's what I wondered is that also season 2? So,
Now, for me, the highlight of season 1 is I cannot remember the name of it. I don't even know if I ever knew the name of it, but it was one that it was a short episode, naturally, but I didn't realize what it was until it was done, and it was the episode that looked like it was one take,
oh,
and it is when Carm just absolutely loses it on everybody because
yes.
nothing is going right. The tickets aren't folding, like, nothing is working. If you go back and look at it, it is a very I don't wanna say brave episode because it's TV, and I think bravery is, like, subject for other things, but
Sure.
it is a very unique episode in which where there's no edits. It's one long take. So, yeah, that is definitely worth going back and checking out.
Yeah, I mean, this was and again, like I don't have a problem with like series guys, but I know what I'm capable of, and the bear is proving it that I could literally sit in front of the TV fucking like 24 hours a day and watch shit.
Well, you know
Um,
what? I disagree. I don't think you can. I think a certain series can make you do that.
yeah, and this one did for sure. The
Like, you're
bear
you're
is
you're not gonna, like, watch seasons, like, 1 through 6 of Airwolf,
yeah, true.
you know?
I mean, my only quibble with the bear at all, really, is just sometimes in the look of it, I think it looks I'm not trying to shit on this, but I don't
It
think it
looks how it
looks
looks.
it does not look great. It looks cheap
It
and it looks
it
like
it does.
not well made,
It does.
but everything else surrounding like the look of it is so well made that like you kind of wonder if it was intentional.
On purpose. We
But then it's like
Dave and I have
why?
actually talked about that, like, the the establishment they're working at is shit. So did
Sure.
they wanna make it look shitty?
Yeah.
They wanna make it look like, yes, the actors are very pretty but you know what? They're not. They're kinda greasy and they're sad, but it's I don't know. I think everything just kind of works with the tone of someone who's dealing with the fact that their brother killed themselves, that their best
Sure.
friend is trying to, like, usurp him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I mean you get a lot of
Excuse me.
you get a lot of like and with like Carmi and shit in the show, like you get a lot of juxtaposition between him trying to grapple with this like newfound restaurant and clearly like we know he's had like a backstory here and fame before this and all that kind of shit. And it's just so smart. And honestly, the way that season 1 ended with them opening the bear and kind of leaving, I don't want to say in the past, like they're going to still have like it seems a window or something where you can pick up these sandwiches and shit in the past, but it's like this like
Well,
progression forward that I'm very interested in seeing where this goes.
well,
And
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say I I envy your new eyes on this
Okay.
because it is one of the best shows on TV. And with all the shows that are on TV, that's high praise.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
There's just we're just I mean, honestly, we're spoiled, guys,
we are.
for
It's a
film,
golden
for
age of
TV.
television. Like Christ,
Yeah.
we had The Bear, we had Ted Lasso, we had Game of Thrones, we have Shrinking. I'm going to shout out The Penguin right now. Severance, from them, amazing television that has the gravitas of major money studio directors and talent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why maybe it annoys me so much when I see a season only getting one season and getting canceled because of it didn't pop in a certain demographic or such. But
Like Archive 81 or whatever on Netflix.
all
God.
of it, Netflix, my God, man.
That show was great. I loved it.
You know, the green lighting that Terminator Zero for a season 2, the one that Dave and I hated,
Yeah.
and they canceled Jeff Goldblum Chaos.
Yeah.
I these are people with a lot more money than I am making decisions. So
I mean, I get it kind of
I
because
have
yeah,
to.
I mean, you have to do whatever the
You got
fuck
to
is
trim the
like
fat and
bring.
maybe expense and beyond, but I don't know.
But I think sometimes you need to lean into those like more niche things that people are responding to, and even if it's not the largest group that's responding, like you're gonna like gain loyal fucking viewers and
Yeah,
followers and shit if you just let people have what they want.
let it breathe.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, would you buy The Bear?
The Bear is something I can already imagine myself putting on literally 100 fucking times in the background as background like
Yep.
music or whatever it is. And yes, the first season of The Bear, I would buy the fuck out of that. I loved it. And if you have not, if you're unlike me and somehow you have not seen The Bear, watch The Bear. It's so truly, truly, truly good. And yeah.
Well, Chad, next, is like Ted Lasso and Severance and Shrinking.
Okay. Oh
I
God.
hate to tell you
I'm
this, but
scared. I'm
I hate to tell
scared
you
for
this.
I'm scared for my future because
Your future is of nothing but pleasant views. I'll leave you that.
yeah, and like maybe I've like been adamantly like sort of against TV, and I don't want to be that, but
You're what you are,
there's
man.
just there's too much fucking good shit. And again, I know what I'm capable of, and I'll sit on this sofa and watch shit for 14 hours a day. That
Good.
is, yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. As long as the
And yeah,
laundry's done, the bills are paid, no crack
it's coming
pipes
up,
are
guys.
present, you're fine.
Facts. All right. And then with that, the one thing we want to talk about tonight is what in the fuck are we looking forward to for the rest of the year?
It's November.
I propose what are our 3 favorites of the rest of the year, but there's wiggle room on that. So
Always wiggle room. What movies are coming out that we want to check out? Like, it's been a long year. There's been some ups, some downs. TV's been good. TV's been great. Movies have been good. Movies have been great. They've not necessarily nailed everything, but it's the end of year. Are people trying to get movies into like for some Oscar nods or such? What's coming out that you want to see, Mr. Chad? We got 3 movies. I know, spoiler alert, everybody. One of our movies actually intersects. We're going to talk about that at the end.
yes, we
But
are.
what is your first movie that you're looking forward to seeing next?
So my first one, I'm going to call it an honorable mention, is
Here.
going to be Heretic, starring Hugh Grant from A24. It's A24 horror, which
Coming up this Friday.
Yes, everyone should know I'm an absolute hoe for A24 horror. and that's why it's honorable, is only because it's out this week, and I am so excited for Heretic.
I saw a small clip. I know you don't watch trailers. You got your noise canceling
I don't.
headphones and such. As I'm scrolling through Facebook, I saw an actor I really enjoy's work, Hugh Grant. And so it showed this little clip, and it looks very intriguing. I'm not a horror guy because I don't believe in supernatural, and if it's just a dude trying to kill me, I'll kill him first. It's easy. But
Hopefully, Heretic bridges the gap between those two.
this looks like something that I'm like, yeah, you know what? This looks creepy enough that I can check out. And if I have time this weekend, well, Chad and I will have something coincides to talk about next week.
Let's go. Hell yeah.
I hope so.
We gotta get Dave on board with this one.
Dave will not.
Dave
Dave is watching grown men in tights beat each other with
was like,
chairs right
nope.
now. I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't mean to speak for you. Yeah. So Heretic. So that's your honorable mention. What about your proper mention? You're like, yeah, man, this is coming out. I'm going to check it out.
Okay, so my first real mention is going to be Baby Girl from director Helena Rain. She directed, again, forgive my pronunciation, guys. She directed Bodies, Bodies, Bodies for A24. And this seems like a very wildly different film for her. And this is starring Nicole Kidman, who is going to lean into sort of like an S&M drama. I'm not even sure the genre of this, guys. But
from what I saw, it is a very dominant submission kind of psychological ploy, in which where she is the CEO of a, what do you want to say, Fortune 500 company.
Sure.
A very well-to-do such. So she is in quite complete charge of a lot of people, a lot of lives, a lot of careers. And she begins a romance with somebody who is just an intern. So you would say 1,000 rungs below her, but has a dominant attitude that she really just enjoys the submission to, from the groping her neck to ordering her a glass of milk at a restaurant, almost infantilizing her, and she is just into it. Now, a little controversy, I don't know what you want to call it, but she's married. She's well established, she's powerful, so she has a lot to lose, and I think that is part of the enthrallment for her.
Sure. No, I agree with that for sure. And I think
the Baby Girl title is very perfect, and Nicole Kidman's amazing.
Oh, she is. She's one of my very favorite actresses of all time.
100%.
And this movie has me so excited because if you've seen Bodies, 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 that is so much different than what this sounds like, that it's like, what is happening in this film? But yeah, it's a highly anticipated for me. And
it looks like
please, Jacksonville, bring it to me. Bring it to my area, please.
Well, I'm not even going to try and beg for that for my area because Christ, I'm going to have to.
Hey, I get a lot of art house films, but who knows with this shit.
Well, let's hope we both get to see it because, well, not on my list. I do really want to see that one.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It looks amazing for sure.
Now, one on my list is a big popcorn movie, and probably a movie that I will be seeing by myself in the theater, probably. And it sounds silly, but that's Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
Kraven the Hunter is a Spider-Man villain. It's a Sony thing. I know Venom Last Dance did not set the world on fire. And Morbius was Morbius. And a lot of the, hey, let's make movies about Spider-Man's villains without Spider-Man in it has not really been too successful. But as a old school comic and Craven fan, I've always loved the character. The character was an obsessive hunter who wanted to hunt Spider-Man. His backstory was never really fleshed out. It went from a guy who used to dig up fossils and inject the essence of the fossils in himself to gain dinosaur-like powers to make him stronger and faster. And yeah, it has definitely evolved from that to actually hunting Spider-Man, killing Spider-Man, burying him alive in the comics. So it's in this iteration, he is a hunter who hunts criminals. It's rated R. It's got
Okay.
Russell Crowe. It's got Aaron Taylor Johnson with all 28 of his abs. So it looks like it could be some mindless fun. It's called Craven the Hunter, for God's sakes.
Honestly, I have to say that when I first saw this trailer way earlier this year,
way back when, because it's been pushed back 100 times.
Why I remember tweeting, I was like, is this a real like superhero, or are they making shit up now? And so many people were like, they are not making shit up.
They don't have to make shit up. There is a trillion Marvel characters that with under the proper writer can become a movie.
Yeah. So. And then like I played the Spider-Man 2 video game with which Craven the Hunter was like a big part of.
Yep.
And yeah, I will be there opening weekend for this one for sure.
Yeah, I'll check this out.
Even though I don't have high hopes.
I don't have high hopes either, but I have not. Has there been a freaking superhero movie this year? Or a comic book movie other than Venom? And I had no interest in seeing Venom. Or Borderlands. Or anything. I'll let you guys take that bullet.
Borderlands.
So yeah, Craven the Hunter. I'm going to give it a shot because I've always liked the character. So, tell me what you want. It's a bad movie. No one's seen it yet. So
yeah,
I'll check that out.
And honestly, like, I think just like Brad does, I think all of us go into things with an incredibly open mind about anything.
Sure.
Yeah, of course you have some preconceived notions about whatever it is you're going in to see, but I would like to pride myself on trying to go into those regardless of what I feel about a franchise or a character or any of that kind of shit as pretty genuine. And I've been surprised in good ways by having that attitude about shit. And
yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Hopefully Craven the Hunter is one of those like good surprises.
All right. So we got the Heretic, we got Baby Girl, and we got freaking Craven the Hunter, and we both want to see all three. That's something.
Yeah, facts.
All right.
And then my next one, guys, is going to be The Brutalist from Brady Corbett. There is this part of me that just absolutely loves the idea of a almost 4-hour epic in the theater that you have like that there's a genuine like 15-minute intermission for. And yeah, is that like normal people like movie going? No, it is not. And most people would be like,
that's an experience.
Yeah, fuck that. But I am excited, especially after seeing Vox Lux, which I did not love. But to see what he's capable of in a film like that, and knowing he could bring that to something like The Brutalist, I am at the edge of my seat, like beyond at the edge of my seat. This is seriously one of the things I'm most excited for. And
you think this director might fit this property a little more than he did with the Vox?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I don't really even know what to expect from this. It's about like an architect, and that sounds boring as fuck. But I just feel like there's going to be something so much more here to it. And especially once I saw like the filmmaking on Craft and Vox Lux, I can see this like really, really working. But again, until it's seen by me, I can't really say,
The
but I am.
Brutalist.
Yeah, but I'm excited, man.
It's a great
And I
time.
know there's like brutalist architecture and shit too, which I'm assuming is going to play into this. But yeah, the
Is
brutalist.
there a genre to it, or is it just like
Uh, this seems like an Oscar bait drama.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, and I don't think there's much more to it than that. Like Adrian Brody, who I think is amazing.
I like Adrian Brody.
Oh, from what I
Does
understand,
really good work.
his performance here is like that kind of performance,
Okay.
and that's kind of all it takes for me. I'm easy, guys. Like, give me the Oscar bait shit. I'm here for it.
Well, my next might roll into that category, and it is called A Complete Unknown.
Yes,
And this
so
is
excited.
the Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothy Chalamet and Ed Norton and a few others, like Gila Fanning, about Bob Dylan's humble starts and how he went from folk music and really turned it on its head by introducing electric instruments into folk music.
Hmm.
And I don't think Timothy Chalamet has ever done a bad performance. I've always enjoyed. I love Ed Norton's performances. It's got Boyd Holbrook in it as Johnny Cash, so I'm definitely there for that. And I don't know squat about Bob Dylan. So I think this would be, it looks like a very simple, easy movie. I don't know if Bob Dylan had too much controversy or like much of the throwing lamps through windows because he's so frustrated kind of bullshit that
Sure.
you get with a lot of rock star movies and stuff, because Bob Dylan was a rock star as a folk singer. So I'm predicting that Timothy Chalamet will win an Oscar for this. Only because of the subject matter is a biopic, and the Academy loves that.
Hmm.
Because it is not too controversial. Academy loves that. And Timothy Chalamet is one of the greatest living actors we have right now. So yeah,
He's great.
yeah. Unknown. Definitely looking forward to that. That is. When I first saw the trailer, I wasn't expecting it, and I'm like, it just hit. So yeah, that is something I'm really excited for, and it comes out on Christmas Day. So
Have you seen the Timothy Chalamet cannibal drama or cannibal horror movie? You know what I'm talking about?
no.
Oh my god, hold on.
Ravenous? Probably before he was born. Ravenous is a movie that I've been trying to find. Timothy Chalamet cannibal movie?
Yeah,
I've
hold on.
never heard that. That's
Bones and all. Yeah, that's it.
Bones and all?
Dog. Let me promise
Okay.
you have to watch this movie. It is like a cannibal romantic drama
Love lost
horror.
between a young woman on the margins of society and a disenfranchised drifter as they embark on a 3,000-mile odyssey through the back roads of America. However,
Oh,
despite their best efforts, all roads lead back to their terrifying past in a final stand that will determine whether their love can survive their differences.
bro.
Not one mention of cannibalism, but I'm
And
down.
I get why also, and this I would not say this is a horror movie. It is a drama that happened to involve like cannibalism, which
Okay,
sounds
bones and
fucked
all.
up.
Oh, I'm down because
No, it's so
I
good.
just did a quick look, and old Timmy with the ginger looks pretty terrifying.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's incredible.
Sweet.
Highly recommended.
Okay,
And,
I will check that out this weekend. Absolutely.
and Luca Guadagnino directed that. Challengers.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, oh my
I
God,
know
Brad.
everyone's mad at me. I still haven't
Okay,
seen
listen.
it.
You know what? We're cutting this
I
podcast
watched
off
Devil May
here
Cry.
right now. Challengers. Oh God, dude. Like I just ended up watching that again last night.
Really?
Like out of the
Okay,
blue.
listen, everyone's touted. I know I will enjoy it. I don't have a block for it or anything like that. It's not like I'm not going to watch it because everyone loves it. It's just, it's just like,
I'm gonna lay out exactly what that block is. It's a tennis drama, and that shit sounds fucking boring as fuck.
I played tennis as a child. There was never
No,
much
but
drama.
a tennis drama movie, no, it sounds awful. However,
No, I love Zendaya. I do like the actors involved. It's just one of those ones that just like, what else is on? You know what the thing is? I can tell you, whenever I see it, I'm not in the mood for it.
okay,
I rarely am in the mood for the drama and such, which is why I lean to action and cartoons and all the rest. So
I
I'm
will
sure
say
it
with this
doesn't sound
movie,
like medicine or anything. It's something that I'll probably enjoy.
I like lately I've kind of wondered if this is sort of like the perfect accompaniment as a double feature to something like The Substance, which I
Oh,
know I've
really?
talked a lot about, but it
Yeah, you
has
saw that,
that,
right?
yeah, it has that like energy of The Substance. And yeah, again, like I said, I watched it again last night and I was like, God damn, this movie still fucks. And I was like, does this fuck harder than The Substance? And maybe not exactly, but man, it's close as hell.
All right.
Yeah.
I will watch it. I think I just have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah. I feel that for sure. And then the one movie that I think we both agree on is our
And I
most
think we're
anticipated.
both in the
Yeah.
mood for
Oh God.
effervescently Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Like
Robert Eggers. Let's go.
Bill Skarsgård. Just I don't know. Always loved vampires.
Me too.
And just Nosferatu is synonymous with vampires, vampirism. You almost want to say like Romania, Transylvania, like old school, not the modern vampires, not Interview the Vampire, not
Yeah.
the Vampire Diaries, where everyone's really like all the sexy vampire shows that came up. Nosferatu is a grotesque demon looking thing that is going to do awful things to people.
Hmm.
And I think we're both here for it.
And clearly very stylishly because I have watched the trailer for this for sure. And
Yeah, it was kind of hard to avoid.
this trailer left me
Sucked you
with my
right
mouth
in.
agape. I was like, oh, this is going to be one of the movies of the year
Oh, I think so.
without a doubt. And maybe I'm wrong, but I, man, right at this point, I'm going to say I don't think I am. Robert Eggers has,
He's a proven track record.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
Bill Skarsgård's had some misses, but when he hits very, very well.
Yeah.
And like I think the only miss he's had lately has been The Crow, but he was good in it. It was just a bad movie.
Yeah. No, I think
But
he is inspired, and everything about this, it just has me so beyond excited and waiting for Christmas Day
I
for
know,
this to release.
that's the problem. What am I going to see on Christmas Day?
Yeah, and I get it. It's smart, kind of like if you're trying to position your film
No, I
as
mean,
like
what am I picking? Am I going to pick the Bob Dylan or am I going to pick Nosferatu?
well, see what's funny is that like the last few couple years at least, like Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, that's all I do is go to the movies for the day. Like, and it's like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
this
probably
year,
what's going to be this year. So,
I have alternating Christmases with my daughter, and this year I have her Christmas morning, and then she gets dropped off at her mom's around noon. And after that, my girlfriend and I, we would normally drive to the casino
Oh,
and just, you know, drink and lose money.
yeah,
But I might say, hey, do you want to do a movie instead?
yeah,
Or do you want to do a couple movies on Boxing Day? Like,
sure.
yeah, I Nosferatu is definitely one that if I wasn't waking up to open Christmas presents, I would be waking up to go to the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. Like, this is something that I think is going to be, and this is strong words, but I think
Epic?
this is going to be sort of an epic event of the
I was thinking the
year.
same thing.
Yeah.
I rarely use the term epic. I think it's very used very liberally. But I think I don't know. This
Why?
this is just such an intriguing look, feel, director, actors that I
When
think
you have a director who has come off of The Witch and The Lighthouse and The Northman, and this is the movie that he has always wanted to make, and you see how strong he was during those three.
and they gave it to him.
Yeah.
This is not an easy property to get.
Well, yeah,
Like
it's
not
I was gonna say
sorry.
it's impossible to like deny the passion here
Yeah.
and like the excitement of what could be here.
Well, we've talked it up quite a bit. Like I hope it lives up to it. But yeah, those are the movies that we're checking out or really looking forward to at least. What are you guys looking forward to? Are you going to sit around and watch The Bear season 2 with
Uh,
with Chad, which you should?
yes, you should.
And season 3, season 4 is coming. Chad had myriad of suggestions. I had a few things here and there, but more importantly, we're all glad you guys came on a little journey with us. We miss Coach, we miss Carly. Hopefully, they will be here next week. But
Yes.
what do you got to say for this week? Keep on watching.
Yes. Definitely keep on watching. And honestly, like anything we talk about, like be a naysayer in the comments
Hell
or
yeah!
agree with us in the comments. Like that's what we're here for. And that's why we do this, man. Like
Throw up a message.
I love
We
this.
will comment whether it's yay or nay. Call us
Yep.
fools, call us geniuses, call us genius fools, whatever. We're here to have a little bit of fun, and we want to interact with you guys. Throw
Yeah.
us a suggestion. What
Yeah.
what movie? What movie are you looking forward to for the rest of the year that we missed? Like, tell us about it because we'll go check that out too.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we will never shit on anyone's opinion on
Hell no,
anything.
just each
Yeah.
other's.
Yeah. Okay. Just each other's, but
Just
we
each
try not
other's
to
because
do that.
we
Like
love each other, so we can shit on each other. So that's about it. We will never shit on yours.
facts. But thanks for coming back, guys. And again, like for audio only, leave us 5 stars as fuck. Like if you can, it helps us more than you can possibly imagine.
Hell yeah, it helps
And
us
on
reach some people.
YouTube, yeah, and on YouTube, fucking subscribe to us. And again, leave 5 stars, leave a comment, whatever it is, and we're gonna get back to you. And that's what we're here for, guys. That's what we do all of this every week for.
And we like talking to each other too.
Yeah, facts.
And you can
That's
tell we
true.
never ever really know how to end these shows.
Yeah, no, we'll never, and that's one thing I'll pride us on is that we'll never know how to end these properly.
Professionalism out the window. We're just a couple of people just like watching movies and such. And yeah,
Facts.
that's pretty much it. So, all right. Have a good night, everybody.
Yes. Good night, guys.
See, we ended it. Look at that.
Wait, I no.